Hello beloveds, how are you going today? My name is Zara Wolf and I'm lighting the path to the light within you. Today for the week 27 blog, the energies have been very heavy of late with only little respites because of the astrology that we're going through right now. I can feel it coming and going in waves, and we started off on Sunday with our moon in Gemini. This is very cerebral energies and mixed in with the Cancer energies of the South Node being conjunct the Saturn and Pluto retrograde conjunction. Therefore, our only way out is through the opposing sign of Cancer where the North Node is. Now this is really triggering us to feel into our bodies, drop out of our mental states, drop into our feeling bodies, and really go for a deep inquiry and inner searching of how we truly feel. So the messages that I got for this week were love of self, rest, closing of cycles, unity consciousness, creation and expression, balance, relationships, truth and trust, and new ideas and new perspectives. Now this is all being afforded to us, of course, with there being now 4 planets in retrograde, and we are about to have the 5th planet of Mercury join that retrograde. Mercury will be stationing on the 7th of July, which is Sunday, here in Australia for 24 hours prior to going retrograde for the following few weeks thereafter. Now, this energy has been very much pushing us, and with us now being in Cancer season, Cancer is ruled by the moon, so therefore we have to look at where our moon sits in our natal chart to find what house it sits in, but also what sign, and that will help us find what aspects of our lives are really being called to have the light shone upon right now. Because with Saturn in its ruling sign of Capricorn, a lot of it is about our career and what we want to do with our lives, and opposing sign Cancer is all about the home and family dynamics. I think that came up a couple of weeks ago, was that the family dynamics are going to be shifting. So I just wanted to pull some cards today to help further assist you along this section of your journey, and for this week, coming week, next 10 days. I believe that when I feel into it, I really feel that this next coming week is going to really help us close out certain cycles and chapters of aspects of our lives pertaining to how we show up in relationship. And so this is why the love of self came through so strong at the very beginning of my channel, when I was doing it for week 27 this week, is that we really have to nurture ourselves just as much as we nurture everyone else in our lives. And I'm just getting goosebumps saying that now. So self-care is really important right now, and the balance is not so much balance as in Libra of justice and the scales, but it's a balancing of being the simultaneous action of healing, being healed, and still moving forward and still progressing. And that is one thing that I've been really focused on myself the last 24 hours, is because honestly, yesterday I sat down 3 times to make this video and I couldn't do it. I just felt like I was going to be forcing it out, you know. So I really had to honor what I was feeling and really dive into heart, throat and solar plexus chakras. They're all being activated right now. I have one particular friend whom, if you're watching, hello Reese, he lost his voice entirely throughout this period of time. And so with myself My heart chakra is now being activated again, as well as my solar plexus. And if you're having a natal return of the North Node in Cancer, like myself, you'll know that you're being really, really pushed to look at where you've been conditioned to believe certain things about yourself, and that is directly correlated to self-worth and our old belief systems and such that were conditioned into us at a young age. So I'll pull some tarot and I'll see what comes out for all of you guys, okay? The Page of Swords straight away. And this is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, but it also pertains to the needing to be grounded, because the Page of Swords is often that energy of I'm going to, and never really does it. It's sort of all talk, so to speak. The first card out is the Knight of Pentacles, which is the slowest moving knight of the deck. It's also representative Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So Pisces and Cancer, the Chariot just flew out then, making itself known. Scorpio. And we just had the Empress come out as well. And the Eight of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which is really lovely. So I'm going to put them in the order in which they came out. So let me just tune in here. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the Chariot, the Eight of Wands and the Empress. So I'll put them up on the screen now. Now, when we're looking at these cards, we can see here that both knights are moving in a forward direction. The same with the Eight of Wands. It is that forward movement regardless of the resistance that we are feeling. And I say that because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight of the deck, and with the Knight of Cups here, he is trying to make the offer, but it is coming very, very slowly, because the Chariot is calling us to balance our desires between our head and our heart. Now the Eight of Wands is fast movement and manifestation energies forward, messages coming in, also the card for travel, but it's fire energy. So this is the Aries, Leo, Sag energy of taking action forward and following on to the Empress here. The Empress is the card for Taurus and Libra, because she is represented here with the glyph of Venus, which rules both of those signs. The Empress here, she knows that stability is afforded to us when we are patient with our processes. So I understand and I feel it myself on a collective level, as well as what I'm going through personally on my own healing journey. I really feel that patience is key, and also ensuring that our heads and our hearts are balanced, because if we stay too much up in our head space, it causes anxiety, ruminating thoughts, and a constant analyzing of our situation. Like this creates energy. Like your thoughts create your energy directly. So if you're not remaining grounded, and considering the Page of Swords was the first card out, I really highly suggest that you take more of a priority with your grounding. So eat foods such as sweet potato. Sweet potato is very, very grounding. And also oats. Like I have porridge, as it's a very, very low GI, and it helps to stabilize mood. And I have that with hemp seeds as well as cinnamon, because cinnamon is very uplifting, and it's a similar kick to caffeine, but it's not as strong, especially if mixed with honey. It's a really good replacement for caffeine. So going back to the cards, the manifestation energy is still here. So even though You may feel like you're wading through mud, or like I'm feeling like molasses. Like molasses is like really, really thick treacle, or I don't know, think golden syrup. It's thicker than honey. I'm getting that feeling like a lot of the energies feels like you're really taking it slow, and it's things are really, really in the physical moving slowly, but in the mental it's very, very chaotic right now in regards to what do I need to focus on. There's this push and this like sense of urgency, and I think Mars is in Leo right now, but there's something coming up for me now, coming in about Mercury being in Cancer perhaps. I don't know, I have to check the astrology on that. There's a conflicting energy going on with a square somewhere, they're telling me, and that right now is really forcing us to find that balance between those two opposing energies. So a square energy is not an opposition, however the planets that and the signs in which the planets are placed in a square, they don't often gel very easily. So a square is where we are going to feel cornered or boxed in and pushed, and it is finding that balance of those two energies, or four energies I should say, of where we need to move forward. And my ears are starting to ring right now, which is quite interesting. Clairaudience activations have been coming on a little bit for me recently as well. I'm getting blocked ears, like a high level of pressure in my ears. It was quite full on this morning. So the underlying energies, so the messages not everybody wants to hear, right? Sometimes, is 7 of Wands, the 6 of Cups, the Moon, the 10 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Swords, with the final card being the Justice card, which is the card for Libra, but also that of balance and fairness and equality, and also karma, and not negative necessarily. It pertains to karmic connections and karmic completions. So the underlying energies, I'll put that up on the screen now. So 7 of Swords, 6 of Cups. You can see here that this is that inner child, reconciling that inner child. With the 7 of Wands, it's just further confirmation, as a 7 always is in the Tarot. Very much continue moving forward. It's always encouragement. A 7 is to continue going on, unless of course the 7 comes out reversed, which is the opposite and indicates that there is no necessary action, or it's not recommended to pursue the line of inquiry or the thoughts and actions proceeding forward. So with the 7 of Wands upright here, going into the 6 of Cups and the Moon, I really think the Moon energy tomorrow in Cancer is really going to help us close out a lot of those, I don't want to say final cycles, because it's never really a final cycle, because each lesson and each wound is an onion unto itself, and requires many, many layers to be shed within each wound and each lesson. However, I really feel that going into the 10 of Pentacles energy here, and then following on to the Knight of Swords, it's making me feel that our mental health and our mental stability is that of our utmost importance right now. Because when the moon is that secretive energy, that concealed energy of everything's fine on the surface, but underneath there is that undercurrent and the undertow. So remaining grounded right now, making sure that you're eating a really balanced diet is coming through right now too. I personally need to lay off the sugar right now. I've had a little bit of a craving for chocolate chip cookies again. So I know personally I need to stay off of that, because that directly affects my mental health as well. Having a high sugar diet really does not help. So Eight of Swords here. I'd just like some clarification, please, on the Eight of Swords. Yeah, the Temperance card. So this Temperance card here as well, this is very indicative of finding that balance and connecting in with spirit and your guides, and being patient. Don't fly off the handle, they're telling me right now. It's a balancing of the fire and earth energy. So that of being grounded in the actions proceeding forward. And that's further confirmed by the underlying energies being the King of Cups here as well, with the Four of Wands as well, and then going back into the Page of Swords. So messages for this week, the takeaway, guys, is to work on what works, what needs to be worked through. Don't ignore it, because it's only going to be to your own detriment. Not only will you feel repressed in your, like, I'm feeling a tightening right now in my solar plexus, like I'm feeling like if we hold it in, it's just going to cause a tightening and an angst. And if we, yeah, I'm just getting goosebumps now. So if we release that energy, excuse me, like burping for me is one way I release energy. If we release that energy, acknowledge it for what it is and accept that the feelings that we have are valid. Right now it is all about reparenting ourselves as well. Okay, apologies for that, my camera cut out. So it's all about reparenting ourselves. So it's about that mirror work. It's about nurturing ourselves, as I said earlier, and also about speaking to ourselves in the mirror, in our reflection, telling ourselves things that we wish our loved ones would tell us, and really validating our own emotions and caring for ourselves, and realizing we are our own stability as well, and we don't have to rely on external. So the takeaway, again, guys, is to make sure that you're grounded, take the self-care, realize that you are healing, you are healed, and you are progressing all simultaneously. That's just the way it works, and it's really weird energies to get used to, and to continue realizing that we are continually moving forward, as change is the only constant. So be patient with yourself, and yeah, take care this next few weeks and these next 10 days, I should say, and please reach out if you wish to connect. I'm still offering the guidance and coaching packages, as well as connecting in with people for Reiki healings, and I'll be in Frankston on Sunday at the Melbourne Psychic Expo. And yeah, please check out the description box below. I've placed the free chakra guide to the 7 major chakras as a free download for everybody, and my website's www.zarawolf.com. and yeah, please connect with me on Facebook or Instagram as well. Alright, so I hope this finds you really well, beloveds. Take extra special care of yourselves, and yeah, be well. Bye.